Good morning and welcome to SimWorld today here on August 12th. I am Marsh, of course. We've got a solo edition coming to you today. We're talking SWBA later on in the program, but we're starting with the SimWorld TV Classic Tip-Off Invitational from Houston, the 8-team single elimination. A quick editor's note, you're going to have a little awkward cut there as we had a little production mishap. We'll get that ironed out, but for this one, just a little clunky there, coordination moving over. But let's start with the Classic, and that is Houston and Alabama in our first game in Houston. Syracuse and their new head coach Assad Drayton facing off against the defending champions. SMU, Cam Jones and co. facing off against new head coach in South Carolina, Dre Pope, and then it rounds out with Gonzaga and Duke in the final of a quarter header, a quad header, a four header, whatever you want to call it. This is a great way to get this season rolling, as we will have just a fantastic start to college basketball season. No surprises. You're in Houston. It's the SimWorld headquarters, SimWorld Sports headquarters, so it makes sense. Huge moment. I think so. Of these 8 teams that we got, I think Houston's got a really big opportunity here. Last 2 seasons, the Houston Cougars have kind of been a little bit of a disappointment in college basketball. They've got a ton of talent. Aji Feshbenley, Freddie Stonewall. This roster's really deep. You got a new head coach coming into town after you just couldn't finish it off with a legendary head coach, but just some struggles the last 2 seasons. And now you're getting an immediate test with Alabama. You win that, and if I'm looking at the bracket rate, I think they're on the same side as Syracuse and UCLA. So if you take down Alabama, a quad team from a year ago, you're getting UCLA potentially, or you're getting this upstart Syracuse, which is going to be a difficult test in the second round. Big opportunity for the Houston Cougars. I think that of the 8 teams that are in here, that's the team I'm circling and I'm watching because I think there's massive implications and there should be attention on this team. One of the better recruiting classes. They got a ton of talent internationally, right? The SimWorld Africa prep program from SimWorld Prep sent a lot of guys from there into Houston, and they just haven't really panned out. There's a lot of what I would have expected to be first-round talent. Aji Feshbenley, I think, was a first-round talent profile when he left from the prep leagues. Freddie Stonewall, the same thing, and they just haven't really played at a high level the last 2 seasons. That's got to change here for Houston, and they're getting a massive test. Interestingly, we have 3 teams from the quad, Alabama, UCLA, and SMU. Xavier over there is like, what's wrong with us? We made it to the national championship game. We beat SMU, and we don't get the invite to the tip-off invitational? I mean, what is up here? I mean, the lack of love right now, and I'm not saying that it's not unwarranted lack of love, but the lack of love for Xavier. They're not a top 25 team. You've got UCLA, SMU, and Alabama. 3 of the 4 quad teams are all ranked in the top 13. Xavier's over there like, we don't want to talk about Xavier. That's kind of the vibe right now around college basketball. Big proving ground for head coaches, new head coaches, Assad Drayton, head coach Dre Pope. Those are big matchups. Big. Well, we got 3 first-time head coaches going at it between Houston, Syracuse, and South Carolina of the 8. So you get this old heads, Gonzaga and Duke, mixed with the new dogs of UCLA, Alabama, SMU, South Carolina. I think is a big statement game for them. You can't hide. You can't hide to start off non-conference play, and you're going to get huge tests for all of these teams. But to me, again, I think the team I'm watching closely is Houston. But if we go real quick, what's the storyline for each team? Alabama, it's the intro of Kai Killens and Almighty Soul. Can this team that made it to the doorstep a season ago, what do they look like coming out? Syracuse overhauled their roster. I think it's 5 to 7 guys. I can't remember the exact number. New to the roster, new head coach, and head coach Assad Drayton. You're getting a test against the defending champions who their story is, what do they got left? I mean, Blaine Kidd comes back, J.J. Ortega comes back, but your best player, Jalen Snow, gone. Your second best player, Gerald Carroll, gone. What does this this UCLA Bruins team look like in their pursuit of defending champions? SMU was last season a fluke. Were they the team that kind of was hanging around the top 25? They were always around like that 20 spot, maybe it's like 15 or something, dropping out of it. They make that deep run. What is the real version of them? Was it the team that made a lot of the deep run? Was it the team that played well in the beginning, or was the team that struggled? We're going to find out a little bit about that carryover here. South Carolina, I've talked, this team is huge, but can they score? We're going to find a little bit more about what Coach Dre Pope is going to want to bring. I think there's a lot of enthusiasm right now around Columbia, and there should be, but just how much enthusiasm, they get that immediate test. And then Gonzaga and Duke, teams that lost their number one guy. Caden Shipp is gone from Gonzaga. Damian Luffy steps into his place. Cooper Flagg gone from Duke. What do they look like? Is Victor Selgauskas going to step in and be the number one? I don't know. That's a lot on the line and a lot of question marks. We're going to get some answers early. It's going to be a big opportunity for us to look at teams. We're going to overreact because we're going to say Gonzaga beats Duke or Duke beat Gonzaga. That's a top 10 win. Maybe neither of those teams end up in the top 25, considering all the turnover on those two rosters. We don't know. But we've got 6 ranked teams. We've got 3 teams from last year's quad. We've got 3 new head coaches. There is a ton of action, and I am so excited to see it all in Houston. That's all rolling in on September, late September 28th, 29th range. Looking forward to that one. Now we're talking a little SWBA. Take it away on the production. And wanted to look at the rookie class and wanted to pick 3 rookies that I think are positioned to have the best rookie seasons. I'm not saying that they're going to win Rookie of the Year, but I think they could have the 3 best rookie seasons, and 3 guys who I'm all first-round picks, all who I'm very skeptical. Now, I wanted to do higher-end first-round picks, so right away I'll tell you right now, everyone that I picked is in the top 20 to not spoil anything else, because I don't. The worst rookie season's gonna be Malik McNeil with the Los Angeles Clippers. Like, he's number 30 pick. He's probably gonna struggle to find minutes behind Zubac for the Clippers. Like, yeah, it's not really the position. So we're going with guys that I think have a legitimate shot at I will say it's for the top 3 bad seasons. All of those guys are lottery picks. Those are the ones that I'm looking at. So without further ado, let's get rolling, and let's start with those 3 rookies that I'm skeptical of. And the first one, kind of a bit of a cheat here, but I'm going with any of the Nets that were taken in the first round. Now, I know that's outside of the lottery, but their picks: Mackenzie Mbako they took with the number 8 pick. Ireland Early they took with the number 19 pick. 22nd was Johnny Baldwin. 26th, Bam Wallace. 27th was Jace Maguez. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, Marsh, you hypocrite. You said that you liked all of those draft picks that the Brooklyn Nets took. You said that they were good picks, that they built a pretty good roster with that group. They've got a guard in Jace Maguez. They've got wings in Bam Wallace and Mackenzie Mbako. They've got a forward in Johnny Baldwin. You said that you really liked what they did in Ireland Early, another guard. I do really like what they did. I actually love those 5 picks. But asking a team, and you just added Michael Porter Jr., by the way, who told everybody what his vice was, which is a weird interview or podcast episode if you care to listen to it. You got this drama hanging over you with Cam Thomas. I don't know how any of those 5 rookies finds any sort of stability in this first season, because MPJ is going to walk in there and be like, I've been sitting behind Jokic. I've been sitting behind Jamal Murray. I've already chucking up shots with those dudes around, and now the only other guy that's established here might be Cam Wallace, will be Cam Wallace, whatever happens with his restricted free agency. I'm balling out. And then Cam Thomas is going to walk in and say, whatever his deal is, right? Is he going to be back on a restricted deal? Is it going to be a 2 for like 28, which I think is what has been rumored that he might sign for? Like, he's going to come back, and it's not going to be, okay, let me play this other. Like, he is a shooter, and he's a good shooter at that. But he's not going to create a fostering environment for development. So now you've got 5 rookies who are coming in, and I don't think that they have any second-round picks. They might have. Yes, they got Madison Miles with the 36th pick, and that was it. So there's 6 guys. I love their 6 picks. I think all 6 of those guys could be rotation, at least rotation caliber, if not starting caliber, and we'll see the ceiling on Mackenzie Mbako at the next level. But there is not going to be any fun. First, you're playing 6 rookies. That's going to be bad enough. right? It's rookies, as good as you are, you're going to have your rookie year struggles. And you got 6 of them that are all going to have their welcome to the SWBA season, right? That's not going to be a good start. And then on top of that, there's just no structure. There's no one guy that's sitting there leading you. There's not a organizational backbone in Brooklyn right now. They are an unguided ship, a ship without a sail. Who knows? The rudder's kind of busted off the back. We don't know where this team's going. You got Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr., maybe both at the steering wheel. One of them might be trying to throw out the anchor by midseason. They might be trying to get into the escape boat by training camp. I don't know. And that means that those rookie seasons for any of those 6 guys, as much as I like every single one of those picks, and I think that is a great long-term look for the Brooklyn Nets, I don't know how any of that pans out for this group this season. That's my first bottom 3. My second one is Trey Turner. Why Trey Turner? Again, this is not because I don't think Trey Turner's good. Any of these guys is not that I don't think they're good. But Trey Turner, the situation in Philadelphia is not one that's advantageous for a rookie. Now, does Trey Turner's game fit maybe perfectly to what the Philadelphia 76ers need? Yes, he's a deadly 3-point shooter. Doesn't create too much with the ball in his hands, but can. And he's not going to have the ball in his hands too much because Embiid's going to have it, Paul George is going to have it, Tyrese Maxey is going to have it. And so you look at this season, and it's like, man, it's going to be tough for Trey Turner to find his shot. It's not going to be like it is for Caden Shipp in Washington, like Cooper Kingy-Cross, like Jalen Snow, like Cooper Flagg. Those guys have clear runways. The ball is going to be in their hands. I don't know how often Trey Turner is going to have the ball in his hands. Now, is he a great rookie? Yes, I think he's a very good rookie. I think he still is a number 3 guy. I've said this during draft time. He could be, in some people's eyes, the best player in this class. That says a lot when Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper were the bona fide number 1 and 2 picks for pretty much the entire draft build-up process. But that's not going to be for a good rookie season. And so I think for Trey Turner, it's going to be finding his shot when he can. I think if he gets 8 to 9 shots a game, he'll be lucky because Embiid's going to try to take 18, Paul George is going to try to take 20 or 18, and then Tyrese Maxey is going to try to take 15 plus, right? Now, where that could change, Joel Embiid doesn't have a history of staying healthy. Paul George did not have a recent history of staying healthy. Tyrese Maxey is a baller. If either of or both of Paul George and Joel Embiid miss time, then the floor opens up for the backcourt or the trio of the future with Jared McCain in that mix because I think the Sixers are high on Jared McCain. I think he's a really good basketball player. That's probably going to happen, right? We've seen the injury history. There's definitely going to be games that Embiid and Paul George miss, if not a lot of games, and that could be very good for Trey Turner. But if it's not, I don't see a way that Trey Turner has a rocky or an awesome rookie season. And then my last guy, Glory Tate. Now, why do I think that Glory Tate might have a bad rookie season? Well, because I don't know how often he's going to see the floor. You got the defending champions who are bringing back everybody. And as good as Glory Tate is, he's a really good 3-point shooter, not a hyper-athletic wing, can create with the ball, decent defender. It's why Glory Tate's portfolio and his skill set makes you feel really good about his future with the Oklahoma City Thunder. But this is a team that's trying to go back-to-back, who's got every single rotation spot pretty much figured out, who's got their first-round pick from a year ago, who didn't play at all, coming back this season. I see Glory Tate as a low-usage rookie, low-minute rookie, but a guy that 2 years from now, when you're saying, maybe even next year, when you're saying, I don't know that we want to pay Lou Dort, we don't know that we want to pay Kason Wallace, Isaiah Joe needs minutes, all these things, that's when Glory Tate's opportunity will come around. I don't think that's this season. Again, does that mean does that mean that he's not going to be a good rookie? No, of course not. I think he's going to be a good basketball player. I just don't think that we're going to see a good rookie season out of Glory Tate. Let's go to the other side. Top 3 rookies. Now, it would be very easy for me to just take Dylan Harper and Cooper Flagg, but I'm not going to do that because that would be stupid, and I don't want to do that. And I also don't know that that's necessarily true. So, first rookie, Cooper Kingy-Cross. I love the situation that Cooper Kingy-Cross is in Charlotte. I think that this is going to be a prove-it season. I think that there's going to be a lot of drama. Now, you could sit there and say, good season? Have you seen his teammates? Sir LaMelo Ball. And that's not a good time to play next to. And Brandon Miller, who I think is really good. You're not wrong. But I think that this season, and I think the talent level of Cooper King Cross is so high. He's a guy that I said I'd consider with the number 1 pick. His talent level is so high that I firmly think that Charlotte sees this season and says, our future with Brandon Miller and Cooper King Cross is a better future than anything with the combination of LaMelo Ball, and he's out the door. I think he's going to show that much talent. I think that there's going to be a lot of drama around it, but I think he is just such a good basketball player that does so many great things with the basketball that I think Cooper King Cross is going to buck a trend and buck a concern that LaMelo Ball being there is going to downplay him at all. There's going to be drama. I really do think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be plenty of conversation if Cooper King Cross gets out to a great start, that not these fake trade rumors of do you trade LaMelo Ball. I think they stop being fake rumors and conversation points and they become legitimate questions. And people are legitimately asking, maybe we should trade LaMelo Ball. Is the market going to be there? I don't know. I don't know that the market's going to be there because LaMelo Ball has proven a couple things in his 4 or 5 year career. He is a great passer. He is a very entertaining basketball player to watch. But he is careless with the basketball. He does not play defense. And he hasn't proven that he can play a brand of basketball that lifts you up and is efficient. That isn't necessarily something that a lot of teams are going to want to build around and might make it difficult for the Charlotte Hornets to trade. Now, you could be the Washington Wizards say, we'll take a pass. New Orleans Pelicans, we'll take a shot at it. What do we got to lose? The Toronto Raptors, maybe we'll do something. There could very well be a team that comes up with it. I don't know that it's going to be the Charlotte Hornets. Number 2, Jalen Snow. I love the situation that Jalen Snow is in. Why? Because there is nothing in Utah. Now, he's going to have a lot of opportunity to walk out and have the ball in his hand, make mistakes, make big plays. That's good. Will that mean great stats with Jalen Snow's track record and skill set? I do think so. You have a really good center in Walker Kessler, not Lamarian Sherwood. You do have a really good backup center in Lamarian Sherwood, and we'll see what plays out with that center position throughout the season. But you have an opportunity with those guys to be really good secondary pieces to Jalen Snow. I think he's going to step in. You've got Lauri Markkanen in there as the veteran who's been there for a little bit. Really great talent. And then I just think that the floor is going to be cleared for Jalen Snow to take on everything and anything that he needs to have. He's a great basketball player. I thought his game is going to translate really well to the next level regardless. 3-level scorer, great with the ball in his hands, versatile defender, big at the wing position or the 2-guard spot. I just think the future for Jalen Snow is so high. I think there's a very real chance that we're going to walk into this season. It's going to be Cooper Flagg is Rookie of the Year. Cooper Flagg is Rookie of the Year. I don't know that it's going to be that simple. I think that there's a very real case to be made that Jalen Snow and Cooper King Cross are in that mix. I do not think Dylan Harper is going to be in that mix, mostly because I just don't think the minutes are going to be there, and then the skill or the shot opportunities, considering De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and of course Victor Wembanyama. And then my third rookie who I expect to have a big season, Pooh Lewis, number 17th overall pick by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Why? Because the Timberwolves desperately need another 2-guard. Desperately. Now, they think it could be Rob Dillingham. That's a big thinking. He didn't get any minutes last season in the postseason, despite being healthy. It's not going to be Mike Conley. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is out the door. So there is a huge gap in the backcourt right now for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I really think Pooh Lewis's skill set fits it. First, 22 years old, right? He spent 4 years at college with the Louisville Cardinals. He enters the league with the skill set for a team that is trying to win a championship after having made it to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. You see time and time again championship teams looking for guys that spent a little bit of time in college because maybe their ceiling isn't as high, but they present as a better option for them in the long term. And I really do believe that Pooh Lewis fits that. He's got a quick skill set, which allows you to play up-tempo. He gives you a very, very athletic backcourt with Lewis next to, obviously, Anthony Edwards. And it gives you a chance to have another scorer, because what this team desperately needs next to Naz Reid, next to Julius Randle, is they need another scorer that does not have the last name Edwards. And Pooh Lewis had many times last season for the Cardinals proved he could be a big scorer. And it's going to be a great positional balance around him when you have Jaden McDaniels, you've got Julius Randle, you got Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid, Anthony Edwards. There's going to be, you have to pay attention to pretty much all those guys in some capacity more than you do Pooh Lewis, and I think that gives him a chance. The one question mark for this team, and it has nothing to do with Pooh Lewis, shooting, right? Jaden McDaniels not a good three-point shooter. The Thunder pretty much left him alone in the conference finals last season. Julius Randle, for his career, has not been a good three-point shooter. Anthony Edwards is. I mean, dude I think he led the league in three-point shooting percentage last season. And then, of course, Rudy Gobert is not. Naz Reid can be. That's going to be the big question. But you need, with a floor that gets very condensed, you need a scorer that can get to the rack on his own. And that's what they missed next to Anthony Edwards. Pooh Lewis presents as a guy that can do that. It's a big difference between playing in the the ACC and playing in the Western Conference. But if there's an athlete that can do it, Pooh Lewis is one of the best athletes in this class. And I think he's got a real shot at having a great rookie season. That's our show. We're coming back tomorrow morning, continue our jaunt around SimWorld U Conference with Sniper J. We're moving on to, I can't remember where we are, Big Ten, I believe, after spending some time in the Big East a week ago. We will recap that here on SimWorld TV, the only place you can see the game, be the game. Mm-hmm.